Hi there, my name is Caitlin Bandy and this is my channel Bandy's Books, and today we are here to review one of the Women's Prize shortlist books. We're going to be talking about Enter Ghost by Isabella Hammad. This was published April 4th, 2023 by Grove Atlantic, and this falls into the historical fiction and literary fiction genres. After years away from her homeland and a disastrous love affair, actress Sonia Nasir returns to Haifa to visit her family. It's her first trip home from London since the Second Intifada and the deaths of her grandparent. Sonia meets the charismatic Miriam, a local director who is putting on Hamlet in Arabic in the West Bank. Soon, Sonia is rehearsing Gertrude's lines in classical Arabic and spending lots of time in Ramallah. As opening night draws closer, it becomes clear just how many violent obstacles stand in the way. Before we jump into the discussion of this book, I just want to mention that this book does have quite a few trigger warnings. We have racism, Islamophobia, hostile occupation, colonization, police brutality, miscarriage, and a relationship with questionable power dynamics. In my opinion, of all the books on the shortlist, and even all of the books on the long list, Enter Ghost is the book that is most relevant to current times. This was written prior to the most recent explosion of the Israel-Palestine conflict. But retrospectively, this book serves as sort of ominous foreshadowing of the things to come. It provides some historical context and background for the things that are occurring today. There was a quote in the book that stood out to me and I think really sums up life in Palestine. If we let disaster stand in our way, we'll never do anything. Every day here is a disaster. I have seen some critiques that the main character, Sonia, is too emotionally distant or kind of annoying. I personally didn't have this issue with her. I found her to be a woman who's focused on her career and her looks, and who is using questionable relationships to fill this emptiness inside of her. Up until this point, she has avoided home and the traumatic memories that come with it. Returning has forced her to confront her past, her relationship with her family, and the tense situation within her country. It's sort of somewhere between a midlife crisis and a coming of age. I think that this makes Sonia a really good intermediary for those of us who are outside of Palestine. It allows us to feel a bit of closeness to what is happening there. She, like us, has been outside of the conflict, and though her family still lives there, she hasn't personally been back since the Second Intifada. It's one thing to hear secondhand experiences of what's happening and a completely different thing to be there and actually experience it. So we as readers get to experience everything as Miriam is experiencing it, and it kind of allows us a window inside of the conflict. I also appreciated the delicacy with which Hammad discussed the different groups of Palestinians. I had little understanding of the fact that there was tension between the Palestinians who chose to stay in Israel post-Israeli occupation versus the people who chose to live in West Bank. These details within the story really help us to get a fuller picture of what life is like in Palestine. Most importantly, I think that this book is really good at discussing art as a form of protest. The Palestinian actors put Hamlet on regardless of obstacles, roadblocks, and danger. They're defiant and unwilling to back down. I think it's even more interesting when you consider that the play that they're putting on is Hamlet, a play where you have a vengeful spirit seeking revenge through his child, and this discussion of what justice means. Considering the situation that the Palestinians are living in and what they're dealing with in the story, I think that in and of itself is a pretty strong message. Looking at it through the lens of what is occurring in Palestine now, it feels even more poignant. My only real critique of this book is that at times I felt it dragged just a tiny bit. I went into this book originally thinking that this was going to be more intense and action-packed, but in reality, this is a quiet, reflective book. It muses on the day-to-day and life choices. Only at the end does the intensity really start to ratchet up. I did find myself wishing that some of that intensity at the ending had been sprinkled a little bit throughout the story just to keep things moving a little bit quicker. But overall, I found this to be a really good read and one that I found really emotionally impactful, again, considering the world and where it's at. All in all, if you have an interest in Palestinian history, the current conflict, or theater as protest, told in a direct style, you may enjoy this book. As for where I think this stands in terms of the shortlist, I think that this is a very strong contender to win the Women's Prize. I feel that this book is the most thematically relevant book to modern times, and I think that picking this book would say a lot. I'm not sure that the judges want to get that political, but I do think that this is a likely choice for a winner. So that's the end of this review. I hope that you found it interesting. If you did, hit the thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know, did you read this book? What did you think of it? Is it a book that interests you? Have you read any other books about Palestine recently that you think I should read? Please share in the comments. And if you're not already subscribed, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button down below as well as the notification bell so that you never miss a video, and that way we can see each other again soon. Thanks so much for joining. Bye.